Hi guys, I thought I'd make this quick video because it's actually something that happened to me, or something I was involved with personally about a week and a half ago. Um, and I haven't done any prep for this, so I'm just going to wing it and kind of see what happens. So basically, I'm in the pub with my friend, and we're sat at a table with a couple of other ladies. Um, and as girls do, when you put them all together, conversations like dating and boys and blah 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 come up. We're obviously all asking each other what we do for jobs, and I mentioned that I'm a confidence and performance coach. And I think a lot of people interpret that as the local agony aunt or universe advisor or something, but hey ho. Anyway, long story short, this lady that I was talking to, she told me this story that she'd been dating this guy. She'd had 4 or 5 dates with him or so, and met him online, and then he just went completely AWOL. I mean, he was quite engaged. I mean, she showed me the thread of text messages before. He was quite engaged until that point. But then he just literally stopped. He wouldn't reply to her phone messages. He didn't reply to her text messages. And then about a week later, she just got a message from him basically saying, sorry, not interested, see you later. And understandably, she was a bit gutted. I think I got the impression that she quite liked him. Um, when I dug a little bit deeper, it was, one of the things that she mentioned was that during this build up before the first date, they swapped a chain of emails together. And one of the things that he mentioned is that he loved a woman in killer heels. So she'd actually gone out and bought a pair of stilettos to wear on a first date. Now, she didn't actually use these words, but I interpret that as she'd obviously gone out to impress him, to obviously please him, and wear the one thing that she knew that he'd like. Anyway, so I just kind of butted in a little bit, not butted in, but like added my little two pence worth, just basically saying I believe the best way to go dating is just to be honest and real and authentic and let the person really know who you are. Like, if you really don't like heels, don't wear heels, basically, especially don't go out and buy them. Anyway, I didn't actually put it that bluntly, but yeah, that's basically the message that I gave. And then on the back of the like being open and honest kind of comment, she then asked me, well, that's a good point. Maybe I should be open and honest with him and ask him what it was about me that he didn't like. So, my answer to this is no. Do not do that. And I'll tell you why. Firstly, the moment you ask somebody what it was that, you should basically tailor for your future dates, you're basically saying to them, what is wrong with me? You tell me, and I'll go away and fix it. You're putting your self worth and your self validation in the hands of somebody else. So no, 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 that's not good. So don't do that. Number two, you actually have no idea how truthful of an answer that you're going to get anyway. So he might give you some bullshit answer that isn't actually any reason or anything close to the reason of why he actually decided not to be with you anyway. Next thing is, in the bigger scheme of things, you've had maybe 4 or 5 dates with somebody, but in the bigger scheme of things, you don't really know him. So, for all you know, he may be a mad axe murderer, or he might be working 100-hour weeks and he just doesn't have time for a girlfriend. He might have lied about his longest term relationship, and you might be the longest person he's ever dated. Maybe he's got a massive raving fetish about goat porn or something. You just don't know the reasons of why he really ended it. So, and you might never know. So, putting your hands in his, waiting for that information just leaves you very, very vulnerable, but for the wrong reasons. And finally, the reason why I say this is because what are you actually aiming to achieve out of the answer? I mean, say he turned around to you and said, well, you just don't wear jelly bean necklaces, and that's the killer thing for me. So what are you going to go and do? Go and buy a jelly bean necklace? So then imagine yourself on the next day, and then you now have this belief that the jelly bean necklace becomes the magic, the magic missing piece of your dating chemistry. The chances are he's going to turn around and say, "Sorry, mate, not a big fan of that necklace. I'm out of here." I'm obviously being extreme for effect, but you understand where I'm going with this, is that you can't continue to keep morphing yourself into what it is that you believe other people want and what will make them like you more. The best way to go out on a date is just to categorically be yourself. Show the values that are important to you. Talk about the things that are important to you. Don't deny things that aren't truthful or whatever, you know what I mean? So basically, don't wear clothes that you're uncomfortable with. Don't laugh at jokes that aren't funny. Don't engage in conversation implying that it's really interesting when it bores the crap off you. And just be yourself. Now, fundamentally, if you're then going to be with somebody and you've given them your authentic self, the chances are when that chemistry actually does arise, you've got a good chance of longevity. If you can walk away from a few dates or a date, whatever, and you can put your hand on your heart and categorically say the person that you showed them is who you are, and they're still not interested, then in my opinion you've dodged a bullet, because it had no longevity in it anyway if they don't like who you naturally are. And if you are putting on a bit of a front and you're laughing at jokes that aren't funny, or wearing clothes that aren't comfortable for you, then I promise you within a few months or even less time even, they're going to soon work out that what they've basically been dating is a lie. So that's not going to work either. The only way to go about this is just to be yourself. Now, I know this sounds quite brutal and it sounds quite harsh and it sounds emotionless, and I don't mean it to come across that way. I'm just trying to project what I believe is really, really important when you go out dating. But also what this woman was suffering from is a sense of rejection. Now, I get that. And rejection bloody hurts. It does. I mean, if you've ever seen anybody react to rejection in the same way they would if they'd won the lottery, of course you haven't. So I do understand that, but don't let rejection drive you to do things that basically you allow your self-worth and your own self-validation to be handed over in the hands of somebody else. I hope that helps. It's just a little video I wanted to put together. If you enjoyed that, then subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you again. See ya!